Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. I am your welcome to Educated Guess. I am your host, Thomas, and today's topic on the screen, as you can see, is going to be opportunities to cultivate computational thinking. So this is also, I do apologize for any crying in the background. My son is out and about, so it's going to be a little sketchy, but this is a re-upload. I had this podcast made beforehand, and when I went and reviewed it a week later after putting it up, or a couple days later, about a week, I realized that my audio was like doubled, and then blending itself, and then it was quadrupling it essentially, so you couldn't hear anything. So I do apologize again for if you watched the original video, but this one is up, and so we're just going to talk about tonight about what computational thinking is, what are some like examples of it, just real quick off the bat and off the cuff. So, what is computational thinking? It is an interrelated set of skills and practices for solving complex problems, a way to learn topics in many disciplines, and a necessity for fully participating in a computational world. What does that really mean, though, in that long like spiel of a definition? Is that computational thinking is that it's a skill. It's the skills and practices in both like I guess in like computer industry, in science, and computation. No, I apologize. It's computational thinking we're talking about. That involves computing. So computing itself, which is part of computational, is that it encompasses the skills and practices in both computer science and computational thinking. Whereas computer science is more of an individual discipline, computational is a problem-solving approach to things and a way to look at problems that go across different activities and different disciplines. So kind of a way to look at it is, so I gotta pull up my notes. There we go. An easier way of putting it is that computational thinking is a process of looking at a problem, or no, is looking at a problem, seeing that it's complex, it has many facets to it, and it's the process of identifying a clear, kind of step-by-step way of solving the problem. So what does that kind of look like in the classroom? In a classroom, I would say file find for this, and then alrighty, so two quick examples that I have in my notes is one for like more like early education, your like early education to middle grades, and then more like your secondary high school. So like say in a fourth grade math class, your students could think about how to move a robot car successfully along a path. It's a problem that has a very simple thing. You're trying to move this car along a path. But among that is the fact that you have to program the car not only to go forward, but to recognize where to turn, where to avoid, and how you would make it process that through different programs and different applications. Like you would need a camera if you want to actively see and gauge for itself, or you have to predetermine the path for it in a program to tell the car what to do, how to move, and where to move, essentially. And then for high school, the example I have is that it's like biology. I have students collecting, logging, and comparing DNA sequences generated from algorithms. So the complex problem of it all is the looking at DNA sequences, and then it would be that there's different ways to collect. Well, there's different ways to look at the information, to log it, and compare it, and different ways to do that. And that the connection between various activities is that they all involve problem solving and computing, designing, and implementing a plan to reduce food waste. Oh, geez, that is no, that's the wrong example. My apologies. So then to kind of bring it back, because I probably should have started with this, looking at the ITSE standards for students and how it goes for how it looks is that for oh my goodness. for the learner, computational thinking for the learner is that we as educators would continually improve our practice by developing and understanding of computational thinking and its application as cross-curricular skill. How thinking at a problem, you look at maybe the history of a problem or how it can be solved with math or sciences or even together, and writing up the code, which would take understanding of English to do. And it's very hard for me to talk on it because as in my education, it's not something I really saw a lot of. It was more cut and dry, fact based, not really kind of interplaying too many skills. The only thing, only you only saw minor interplay between them in like maybe like your social studies and English classes, and then math and sciences, as those two kind of correlate with each other. Maybe even a bit with science and history, as there's a lot of history to sciences and stuff like that. So I do apologize for this more off the cuff, and this is like old notes that I had like written over for another class. But I hope that kind of like gave you a little bit of a view on my thought process on it. And thank you for joining me. Have a good night.